At the start of Football Manager 2024, you will find João Neves as part of Benfica's first team. He's 18 years old, valued by Benfica at £24 to £73 million, and has a contract worth £14,250 per week, and that runs until 2028. Looking at the player's positional graph, you can see he's mainly a threat through the middle of the park. He can play as a defensive midfielder, can play as a central midfielder, or as an attacking midfielder too. Looking at the attributes, you can see that his game in his physicals is around his natural fitness and stamina. In the mentals, he scores well for his aggression, concentration, determination, and his work rate. And in the technicals, his standout attributes will be dribbling, it will be first touch, passing, and his technique. He comes at the start of the game with a media description of a Wonderkid, and I feel there is a little bit more development to come from him. So let's jump 5 years into the future and see what the future holds for João Neves. So we have jumped forwards, it is now 2028, and we find João Neves has swapped Benfica for Manchester United. He is now 23 years old and has represented Portugal 30 times, scoring 3 goals. He's on a contract worth £200,000 per week, and that runs until 2032. Looking at the player himself, he has now really started to develop as a footballer. In the physicals, he has standouts of agility, natural fitness, stamina, and pace. In the mentals, he has good aggression, bravery, concentration, determination, leadership, vision, and work rate. And in the technicals, his highest attribute is passing of 16, but he also has dribbling of 15, first touch of 15, and technique of 14. He's developed a player trait of gets forward whenever possible, and his media description is a world-class midfielder. If we have a little look at his playing history to see how he ended up at Manchester United, so starting the game, he would play 3 seasons for Benfica. 23-24, he would play 32 times. 24-25, he would play 34 times. And then after switching to Manchester United for £61 million, he would play 33 times, scoring 4, assisting 6 times, and having 1 Player of the Match award. And then the 26-27 season, he was ever present, 38 league games, 2 goals, 7 assists, 1 Player of the Match award, and a 7.05 average rating. And then in the 27-28 season, played 25 times, scored once, assisted 3, had 3 Player of the Match awards. For the first time in his career, dipped below a 7 average rating, although it was only a 6.95. So he's turning out to be an absolute world star. Can Manchester United hold on to him though, or is there bigger things coming for João Neves? Let's jump 5 years forward and find out what happens in 2033. So it is now 2033 and João Neves is still at Manchester United. He is now 28 years old, has represented Portugal 88 times, scoring 6 goals. Valued at Manchester United by 84 to £252 million. He has a contract worth £275,000 per week that runs to the end of the 2036 season. Looking at the player, he's probably at the upper end of where he can be. I don't think he can get any better than what he currently looks like. His media description is now a legendary midfielder. He has developed some more player traits, and looking at his attributes, the passing, the technique, the dribbling is still great in the technicals. In the mentals, aggression, anticipation, bravery, concentration of 19, determination of 17, leadership, vision and work rate all of 16. And then in the physicals, agility of 16, balance of 16, natural fitness of 18, stamina of 16 and strength of 14. He really has developed into that midfielder that every single club would want. Looking at the player traits then, gets forward whenever possible, curls the ball, plays 1-2s, dictates the tempo, gets the crowd going, tries first time shots and tries long range passes. Looking how he has been playing along his Manchester United career, so you can see he has been pretty much a first team ever present since we left him last time. He's played in 38 games, 32 games, 37, 37 and 38. And the mad thing to notice here is since that season where he played in 25 games, the average ratings read 7.2, 7.13, 7.24, 7.1 and 7.27. So this player at the age of 28 really is coming into the peak of his career and probably at the top of his powers. But the question is, will he stick it out at Manchester United? Will he still be there in 5 years' time? Let's jump 5 years further forward and see how he looks at the age of 33. So we have jumped forwards to 2038 and we see that João Neves has left Manchester United to go to Real Madrid. Now at the age of 33, he has represented Portugal 141 times. He's valued at 4.9 to 15 million pounds. He has a wage of £225,000 per week and his current contract runs until the end of the 2039 season. Now looking at the player, it seems like from 28 to 33, that was where his peak was at, and he pretty much still looks the same player as he did a couple of years ago. Now there are a few attributes here and there that have moved about, but in terms of the technicals, it's still about his passing, his technique and his first touch. In the mentals, he still scores really highly for aggression, anticipation, bravery, concentration, determination, flair, leadership, vision and work rate. And then in the physicals, he has started to have a little bit of a decline now with acceleration of 13 and pace of 13. Still has good natural fitness of 18 and the other attributes are okay too. His media description is still that of a legendary midfielder. So let's have a look at what happened to get him from Manchester United to Real Madrid. So he would play at Manchester United pretty much all the way through until the 37-38 season where he would join Real Madrid, but his game time did start to decline in the last two seasons at Manchester United. 35-36 he would only play 24 times and 36-37 21 times, and that led to the free move to Real Madrid where he would play 25 times but wouldn't have a goal, assist or a player of the match award in his 25 appearances. Looking at some of the figures he has put up, he has been a consistent 7 or better average rating, and that means across his entire career he has played 519 games, scored 58 goals, had 89 assists with 36 player of the match awards, and he had an average rating across his entire career of 7.15. If we have a look at some of his milestones to see exactly what he has won, so in terms of the competitions, we can see coming out of Benfica, he was winning the Betclic Champions with Benfica as the top flight of Portugal, Allianz Cup runners-up, the Taça de Portugal placard winner. He got his first international goal against Serbia at 21, was capped at the age of 20. In terms of Portugal, Nations League runner-up, European Championship runner-up. Then with Manchester United, he won the Europa League, the European South American Club Challenge, the Super Cup. In the 30 season, he would be a runner-up in the Carabao Cup and the Champions League. They would be runners-up in the FA Cup, Carabao Cup, win the Europa League, win the European South American Club Challenge and the Super Cup. Then they would win the FA Cup. And then finally, with Real Madrid, it would go on to be a runner-up in the Supercopa de España, but they would win the Copa del Rey. So an interesting career comes to an end in 2038. This is as far as we will go. It's mad to see how he has developed, and that initial phase of going from teenage football into adult football really saw that development grow. And I think at this stage of his career, obviously winding it down now, his best years between 28 and 33, he really developed as a footballer and hit the peak of his powers in that window. Let me know in the comments section down below, what do you think of this simulation of his career? Have the teams that he played for managed to get the most out of him? Was his move to Real Madrid a disappointment? Let me know in the comments section down below.